people feel that, they don't have any key takeaways to give at the end of the session is generally because they really have not thought about what is that they want to address. So you can only be able to mention key takeaways at the end of your write-up when you have actually framed your questions in the beginning. When you have no questions, when you have no structure to write, you will have nothing to answer in the end. Let's say, just to take an example, let's say I have to talk about taxation of royalty income. Okay, now for this topic, if I do not frame my questions rightly, I will have nothing to offer in the end, right? Probably my key takeaway, my biggest key takeaway in this particular topic could be that these are the people who are taxed. Like I can probably just put it very briefly and say these are the people who have to pay a tax on royalty. In one line I can answer this. In the second line I can answer that, okay, for deductions you can probably check this section, and I must have explained my deductions in the body of the article. So you can just conclude, and this happens when I have written my questions. What my questions would look like for this article will be, what is a royalty? How do I pay tax on it? How is it calculated? Okay, are there any deductions that can I avail of? Right? These would be few of my questions. So what is important when you have your questions ready at the beginning of before you start writing, that will enable you to actually mention your key takeaways very clearly, because then you exactly know what to give to your audience. Another example could be, let's say I have to talk about due diligence, like how due diligence is conducted. Okay, now what do you think can be the biggest key takeaway in this particular topic, for this particular topic? Anybody who wants to answer this? क्या हो सकता है इसमें? Takeaway क्या हो सकता है for my reader, like a biggest takeaway? My topic is how is due diligence conducted?
By going to the company and checking its accounts.
Okay, but I don't think so that would be the takeaway. Takeaway क्या होगा?
What will the procedure you will follow to do that?
Very close, very close. So probably like a checklist, I can say.
Yeah.
I can probably give them, in my conclusion, I can probably give them a downloadable checklist.
Yes.
Right? So that if I mention that in my write-up, now anybody who's into due diligence, any lawyer or any firm who's conducting due diligence, and they see कि अच्छा इस बंदी ने जो checklist बनाई है, उन लोगों को साफ समझ आ जाएगा कि आपको आता है ड्यू डिलिजेंस करना. नहीं तो आप चेकलिस्ट बना नहीं पाओगे, क्योंकि इंटरनेट पे आपको चेकलिस्ट कहीं नहीं मिलेगा तो इनकम्प्लीट मिलेगा. इट विल नॉट बी दैट प्रॉपर एंड एक्यूरेट. इट विल एक्चुअली नॉट एंटेल important steps, right? So you always have to include a takeaway in your article, and that is only possible when you start with the right questions, when you exactly know that what is that you would want to offer your audience, right? केक तभी पसंद आता है ना जब हम उसे मेन्यू में रखते हैं. जब मेन्यू में, अगर मेरे मेन्यू में मैंने रेड वेलवेट चीज केक रखा ही नहीं है तो मैं दूंगी कहां से, राइट? तो मेन्यू बनाना बहुत जरूरी है, स्ट्रक्चर बनाना बहुत जरूरी है. हैविंग योर क्वेश्चन सेट before you dive into writing is very essential. Only when you have done that, you will exactly know that, okay, these are my questions and this is what I need to answer in my conclusion. So conclusion is nothing. Conclusion is basically you kind of summarize whatever you have written. Okay, you kind of give like a brief pointers to your readers. Okay, and for this, you generally have to use your introductory para as a guide. Remember when we were discussing introduction, we discussed that in your introduction, always say that in this article, I'm going to address A, B, C, D. Right? So while writing your conclusion, again, come back to your introduction paragraph, see what did you promise your readers that, okay, what will they get here? And then just re-paraphrase it and say कि अच्छा A का आंसर ये है, B का आंसर ये है, C का ये है, D का ये है, in one line. So that by reading your conclusion, I get a clear-cut answer to the problem that I was looking at. Okay, you just, so to put it in very short, that you just have to summarize your key points. And at sometimes it might be like an opinion piece, okay, which might require your opinion on it. So never try and be vague in that. Try to be very clear, try to be concise, try to be crisp, and give an answer. Give an answer, yes or no. Like for example, if someone asks me that what do you think about the new transgender bill, so either I should support it or I should disagree with it. Either if I am supporting it, let's say I'm supporting few sections and I'm not supporting the few aspects of it, then I should categorically state that. So whenever you're writing an opinion piece, your opinion should come out very clearly. It shouldn't be vague. All right. And in the end, it should always give me a sense of closure. Now, I have also seen a lot of time people write their conclusions, but then that is equally vague because ऐसा लगता नहीं कि खत्म हो गया. Sometimes they also make a mistake of introducing new concepts and new ideas. You don't have to do that. Never introduce anything new in your conclusion. Don't touch anything new. Do not have like a different question of discussion in your conclusion. Conclusion is basically जो पहले बोल दिया, whatever I have discussed, whatever I have said, I'm just gonna redraw it for you and I'm just gonna complete it for you. Like you're just gonna complete the whole circle, right? Don't leave it open. Take your writing art assignments as like a whole circle. So you have to complete it. You have to connect from where you started, from where you end. Okay.
Okay.
Don't it should give it, like whenever somebody reads it, they should get that, okay, yeah, this has been discussed, this has been closed for me. Like for example, please mute others. Okay, yes, I will do that. Okay, I think nobody else. Guys, please mute yourself. No, it kind of causes disturbance for others. All right. So, when I am reading a conclusion, I should kind of get a sense that this is complete. This is a complete information that I am reading. It shouldn't be like ki, I have written something, but I'm still not very sure what does it say. Like for our previous example that we talked about, that was how to conduct a due diligence. Now, if I give you a checklist, you might not even care reading the whole article, right? If I give my checklist in the conclusion, like if I say that, okay, this is the downloadable link, just download this checklist, which summarizes the whole, or like it just have like the pointers, and then you'll be like, I'm sorted. I really don't need anything more than this. And if ever I'm stuck on any of the pointers, then I can always go back and refer to the article which tells me कि अच्छा ये step ऐसे करना है. Understanding? Because when I have something in the end, that just tells me that, okay, this is finished, this is complete. And that also kind of gives me value and binds it to my question, binds it to my topic. It kind of closes the entire circuit. राइट मुझे जानना था ड्यू डिलिजेंस कैसे करना है, मैंने चेकलिस्ट देख लिया, मुझे पता चल गया ड्यू डिलिजेंस कैसे करना है. इट्स क्लोज्ड फॉर मी.
We can write on points, right? Or else we should write on a summarized way.
Either way, like whatever works better for your write up, depending upon, like for in this case here in this example, it could be a checklist which could be in pointers.
Yes.
Right? A B C D E F G, ये कर लो, हो गया तुम्हारा due diligence complete.
Or else we can whatever points we have highlighted in the introduction, we can give the answers on highlighted points in our conclusion. Is that okay?
Yes, that's exactly what you have to do. That's exactly what you have to do. So whatever questions that you're raising in your introduction, you have to ensure that you have answered in your conclusion. But what happens is, see, in your conclusion, you're only giving an answer. Now, what do you give in your body? Body is also answers, but that is way more in detail. Like you will discuss different issues. जैसे कि अभी है how to conduct a due diligence, ठीक है. इसका step number 1 हो सकता है कि document collect करो, ठीक है. जब तक until and unless you don't collect all the documents that are required, what will you see? How will you ascertain that whether compliance had been done or not? There is one question. Could you share good and bad conclusions on the screen? Would be yeah, I will be doing that. Let me just complete these pointers, and after that, I'm going to do that. So what you can do is that, let's say I told you that, okay, you have to write about, can you just turn off your video, please? Yeah, let's say I ask you to write about how to conduct a due diligence, and the first step, let's say that you mention, is that I'm going to first collect all the documents. ये हो गया जो तुम्हारे कंक्लूजन में चला जाएगा. बट व्हेन यू आर मेंशनिंग इन your body, you will actually explain that what all documents do you need to collect. Okay, there are a lot of questions around it. What if the company is not providing me with the requisite documents? Can I verify that is that the correct document that they are submitting to me, or is it like a false one? How do I know that ये ही सही है? ठीक है. So ये सारा जो है ये आपका बॉडी में चला जाएगा. बट जो मेन आंसर्स हैं वो आपके इधर आ जाएंगे कंक्लूजन में, जो स्टेप्स होंगे. राइट? एनी डाउट्स टिल नाउ? Okay, no doubts till now. So I would just summarize briefly, and then we will go on the screen and I will show you like few examples. I really could not find many because most of you don't mention a conclusion in your write-up. So basically, conclusion will be the opposite of your introduction. Okay. Now, in your introduction, you always move from a general proposition to a specific proposition. Right? That is how the flow goes, that you start discussing like a broader issue, then you keep narrowing down to the specific point. Now in your conclusion, you just have to do the opposite of this. From your specific one point is that you have to summarize, like jo bhi whatever you have spoken in your article, one thing is that you have to give a summarized version of it. Okay, second thing is this, what I'm telling you right now, that in your introduction, what you do is that you discuss from a general issue to a more specific ones. Here you just have to do the opposite of it. That is, from a specific one, you have to discuss the wider issue, like the wider impact of it. I'm going to show you an example with respect to this so that this becomes more clearer. Like another, like a general example of this could be, let's say I am writing on diversity and inclusion in companies. Okay, like how a company can make a diverse and an inclusive hiring. तो मैं इंट्रोडक्शन में क्या करूंगी, मैं आई एम गोना टॉक अबाउट द स्पेसिफिक्स ऑफ इट, हाउ आई एम गोना एड्रेस इट, बट इन माय कंक्लूजन आई विल जस्ट डू द ऑपोजिट ऑफ इट, that whatever the I'm going to first summarize, those are my specific pointers. Once I have summarized the thing, after that I'm going to say that ये कैसे help करता है, D&I companies के लिए important क्यों है. Right? Like I've mentioned my brief points, I've summarized it, I have concluded that. Then I'm going to connect it to the wider issue, a more generic or a general issue. Now, this is something which might not be relevant to all cases. Like for example, to a previous example, कि due diligence कैसे conduct करना है, का process बताओ, तो उसमें relevant नहीं होगा. पर जैसे another example we can consider that how to draft a non-disclosure agreement, उसमें it can be it can be important. Like for example, मैंने pointers में, again in my conclusion, in the pointers I've given you step 1, step 2, step 3, ऐसे draft कर लो अपना NDA, and in the end I can just say कि इसका greater implication क्या हो सकता है. अगर NDA नहीं है तो for example let's say law सीखो का employee जाके सारा information law octopus को दे देगा या Unacademy को दे देगा. Right? So now this is a proposition that I am basically telling my impact, कि generic issue क्या है. Understanding? So this kind of gives a very unique solution to the problem at hand that you're discussing. Also makes it very creative, because everybody will not be able to come up with the same solutions that you might. So this kind of makes your whole article very unique. The way how you connect it to the general principles at hand, or the generic issue at hand. Okay, and here's a trick that I kind of use while writing, that I always kind of answer that, so what, इसका क्या point क्या है, ये इतना सारा जो लिखा है, like why do I care about this, why that needs to be answered in your conclusion. Then it kind of again answers to your audience that why have you written on this topic. What is that you were trying to convey? Right? So when you answer, like for example, if I tell you that, conclusion, ही सब पढ़ते हैं. I tell you that, okay, listen, body कोई नहीं पढ़ता, introduction भी ठीक है थोड़ा देख लिया, but conclusion is something that people are going to mark you, like I'm going to evaluate you on the conclusion. Now, when I have told you the importance of it, you will have this thing in mind that, okay, I need to write this properly, because that is how I will get my marks. So similarly, you have to tell your reader that why should they care about this, and that goes in your conclusion, right? Like for example, why should I draft the NDA agreement very carefully? ऐसा क्या है? क्या हो जाएगा अगर मैंने ढंग से नहीं बनाया तो? क्या हो जाएगा मैंने कुछ important points miss कर दिए तो? You got to show them this. Similarly, in the case of a due diligence, what if I do not follow the processes very carefully? So what if I miss on few steps? What is the implication? The moment you show the implication, they kind of understand the value of what you have written, that why this is so important. Are you guys able to follow what I'm saying? Any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
All right. So these were the only pointers from my end that you had to keep in mind while writing a conclusion. The most important one for me has always been that you have to tell your readers that why should they care about what you have written in the conclusion. Just like a golden rule, like just whenever you've completed the whole thing, just ask yourself like, so what? Like, क्या importance है इसका जो इतना सारा लिखा है? Just answer that and your readers will get something valuable out of it. I think Rahul has a question. I will just unmute you. Yes, Rahul.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. So I had a query that while writing the conclusion, since we've already discussed what all content we can include, I wanted to know what is the general and preferred format. For example, mostly when I've seen a conclusion is written in a paragraph form, but as you mentioned that it can vary subject to subject or topic to topic. For example, you mentioned that checklist. What do you think about that?
Okay, so paragraphs are preferable because that kind of psychologically tells me that I'm reading a conclusion, because that's how we've generally seen conclusions around. Okay, so when I see a paragraph, it kind of gives me a hint that, okay, you know, it's over. Like, this is like the ending paragraph. But personally, what I believe is that you can always mention in pointers. The idea is to get your information communicated. Abhi, if I do it in a paragraph or if I do it in pointers, doesn't matter. In whichever way I'm able to deliver it better. That is what is the key for me. Okay, and I think even for most of the publishers, that is the key. That you're able to give your conclusion. If not, let's say, if not pointers, okay, if you do not want to mention it in pointers, you can probably just say first this, like write it in sentence, but mention, if it is points, then you should state that first, second, third, at least that much, because that kind of quickly tells me ki, acha, you know, in this paragraph I have these 3 important things to focus on. Otherwise it kind of leaves you in a confusion that I don't know how many points of information did I get out of this. Okay, and another thing, like what we discussed with checklist, now there could be 2 ways to put it. One is that I put the checklist there itself in the conclusion, but if I think that, you know, my checklist is a very long piece, I can just have a downloadable link to it. I can just go on Google Docs, create a downloadable link that works for everybody who can whoever has that link will be able to see it. I can probably just say that, you know, in my conclusion, I can just write, here is a downloadable checklist while that you can follow while conducting a due diligence, and I can just hyperlink it there, like checklist, see here karke, I can hyperlink it. That could be another way of doing it.
Or else we are if we are writing in summary way, we can just highlight the means we can just bold the points whatever we want to keyword it.
Right,
That will be okay.
Absolutely, that would also be fine. Like you can bold it, you can say first, second, third, you can either say dash dash dash, any which way. I would Rahul, I think my answer to your question is little vague, because I will not stick to a particular format. The format is that anything that makes the information easy for the reader to digest, that is the thing. Okay, now if you think that to present that information, I think I'll be able to do it in a paragraph form. Paragraph works the best. If you think I can be able to do it in a pointer wise, pointers are best. If you think highlighting works best, highlighting is best. Information समझ आना चाहिए, किस तरीके से लिख रहे हो उससे उतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Okay,
I get
unless
that. Thank you so much.
unless
And
your publication, but like from wherever you're publishing, now if the publisher says that, oh listen, you got to put it in a paragraph form, you always have to listen to your publisher. You really don't have any option there, whatever your publisher says in that case. Okay,
Okay, that was a very good idea, Azit, to put the checklist by hyperlinking it to other website or a document.
Yeah, so it could be even a PPT for that matter, or maybe a good video that you saw that you would want to, if let's say I am writing something on gender identity, and I've written my whole piece explaining what gender identity is, history around it, etc., etc., case laws, जो भी आया सब लिख दिया मैंने. And may I want to like maybe want my audience to watch a video, so I can again hyperlink it. Okay, so it could be anything. वीडियो भी हो सकता है, चेकलिस्ट ऑफ कोर्स जो इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर ड्राफ्टिंग ऑफ अग्रीमेंट्स, इन टर्म्स ऑफ कंडक्टिंग अ प्रोसेस, उन केसेस में चेकलिस्ट वर्क्स बेस्ट. Okay, conclusion would be in a pointer or a paragraph. Another person answers this. Mr. Raj, anything that that you think will help readers answer what you have written? So both are good, pointer or paragraph, anything is good. There is no hard and fast rule. But of course, if your publisher says that no, I want it in pointer form, then keep it in pointer form. But if your publisher says paragraph, then keep it in paragraph form. Okay, having said that, I'm gonna share my screen now so that we'll look at few of the examples. I think I have them here. I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yeah.
Let's look at this one. So this is the topic. The question is, how far should the wisdom of committee of creditors be respected in approval of resolution plans, case law analysis? Okay. Quickly, if you can just browse through the whole thing. You don't actually have to read, just look at the headings. Okay, a little bit you can probably see. And then here is a conclusion. Okay, read the conclusion very carefully and tell me what all is missing. Whatever we have discussed till now, उसमें से मुझे बताओ क्या क्या missing है. And from your own, like if you think there are certain rules that even you guys follow while writing a conclusion, you can also say it from that. Are you getting like, just tell me one thing, you read this.
Like after the end, like after the first paragraph of the conclusion, after the like shouldn't there be like a message to the reader, a final ending message to the reader, like what they can, I mean, like this is explaining what the court's attempt or decision is. So apart from that, I think there are some links posted, so that will be very helpful for the reader also to understand certain things in detail. But I think maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, it seems okay, but I think there's just one final message would be that they can do this, or how to go about it. What is the, if somebody's like looking for a legal, is involved in a legal case involving this similar case, and that's why they're reading this, and probably towards the end they may be looking for some kind of a message, like they've understood what the court's ruling is, but I mean, your personal, I mean, your last, in a way, it's like a last verbal dialogue from you to the reader. Maybe that is what needs to be added in the end. And maybe some connection, and maybe your website name and everything, or your the place where they can contact the writer of the article.
All right. Okay.
Like,
Read the
ma'am,
question.
it's not the whole summary. It's just the ending part of the story.
Okay. Right. Read this headline again, this title of the topic. इसका आंसर मिला कंक्लूजन पढ़ के?
No.
Anybody says yes, like anybody who's 100% knows that, okay, yes, I got an answer to this. Now, this is a classic case because here the topic itself is very clear. The topic itself is a question. बहुत बारी होता है कि your topic, your title is such that you might not be 100% sure that how do I put it in a concluding format. But here, the first basic principle should be that I should be able to answer this question, right? And if I'm not able to do that, I might not just call it a conclusion. It's just another paragraph, right? So
Yeah.
that is the first thing to ensure, that whenever you see that your question is in a heading, in like a question format, or it directs you to know something in a very yes or no terms.
Right.
That needs to be very categorically answered here. Now, if I read this, the first impression that I will get about the author is that they probably have not really understood the concept that they were working on. Because had they understood, they would have told me that whether it's a yes or a no, they are not telling me this. I don't know, it's just beating around the bush. I don't know the answer to what the question is. Right?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, from reading this conclusion,
Yes.
maybe he is telling that it is not to be questioned. The question is it to be respected or how much it can be respected? It's not to be questioned. It
Yes.
is to be taken. The only thing you can question is whether they have followed the procedure or not. Probably that's what he is conveying,
absolutely
what is in the body.
You're absolutely right. This is exactly what he's trying to convey. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that it needs to come out very categorically and very clearly.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He has exactly mentioned this only. Like if you read the couple of lines, that the Supreme Court has at least made an attempt to put an end to an unnecessary extension of the litigation. That is what he's drawing towards. That
Yeah.
COC का decision final होता है ना?
Yes.
But,
Yes.
but the point is that if he would answer it in a yes or no format, or if he would answer it in a more categorical way, that would enable the readers to get an answer very quickly. Here, like you got the answer, but a lot of others had easily passed it off saying no. Answer is there, okay? It's not like that the answer is not there. He has answered it. But he has answered it so vaguely that only few people will get it. Rest will have to keep wondering.
Most of the people will have to keep rereading it to understand exactly what it is.
Yes. Now, if you read it now, once he has pointed it out, read it again. You will get the answer. But then, इतना मेहनत थोड़ी करना होता है पढ़ के. कोई इतनी
Usually, like
मेहनत
after the answer, like a one line yes or no, and then a paragraphical explanation of the section, and then finally, okay, this is what you can do and this is what you cannot do under the law, something like that. A final confirmation, which can, it can get the confidence of the reader that he's understood the article and he can move ahead with that particular advice, that piece of advice.
This conclusion, I will have to dig out for information. I will not know.
I have a question.
Right? Please say.
This particular article, with due respect to the author, should this not be a half-page article simply saying case law analysis of the decision in COC versus Satish Kumar Gupta?
I think that's a different question here. See, basically, he could have also mentioned it in a half page, but then our minimum word requirement is 1500. So not to just fill the words. See, if you have understood the case very clearly, then it becomes very accurate to say that, okay, you can probably just summarize this information in a half a page of an answer. That is your conclusion, okay? But for my readers, there are a lot of associated concepts that I will have to explain. If I am discussing this case, I will have to discuss the facts of the case. I will have to discuss the issues of the case. Forget about the word limit. I mean, generally also, if this was my topic, okay, so it won't be a half a page answer. Half a page would only be my conclusion. That would be like a direct answer referring to the case law here and answering in a yes or no format and saying ki, and then linking it to the larger picture and saying that, okay, aisa hota hai ki nahi hota hai, right? However, if I have to discuss the whole thing in the body, what I will be addressing? I will be addressing the facts of the case. I will be addressing what were the issues, what were the arguments made by both the parties, because that is also very crucial, okay? I cannot just directly jump from the issues to the conclusion. It is important to ascertain what the different parties were saying here, okay?
Right.
And then finally coming to what the court held, and that is also not enough. Even if it says that, okay, I'm only looking at this particular case law here, I will again recheck. Or koi similar case laws hai, then I will quote that. Agar similar hai, contradictory hai, then I will also again talk about them. I will also talk about the general principles of law that have been discussed here, which will again can be drawn into my conclusion. So I'm sure this will not make a half a page of a thing. Right? Your half a page of a thing is the conclusion. Like somebody who doesn't have a time to read the whole thing can directly jump on the conclusion and get an answer to their question.
Right.
But otherwise, for addressing the in my whole body of the article, I will actually have to discuss each and every point that's there. Okay. So Abhinay says that the conclusion is abrupt and feels like it is a part of the body. It also lacks the opinion of the writer. Yes, they have not. They have tried to link it with the larger picture here, like giving what it is. So that is what it is like. After going through, I think 10 to 15 assignments, this was the only assignment that I could find which had a conclusion. And even when it had a conclusion, I was like, why is it even here? Because it is not it is answering the question, but not sufficiently enough. It needs to categorically tell me what did the court held. One, it needs to categorically tell me what is the general principle around this. Divya says that, but as a case analysis includes author opinion, of course, Divya, why not? Why not? In a case analysis, I have analyzed the case, then I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to comment upon whatever the judgment has been. Right? Like, for example, let's say the court denies a bail to one person. Okay, then I'm going to discuss that whether the bail has been denied on a valid grounds by the court or not. It's not like a rule, but of course it can has your own opinion, because then you're not just seeing that, and in fact it should, because when you include your own opinion, even when writing case analysis, you are not looking that judgment in an isolation. You're looking it with other existing factors, right, and commenting upon it, that whether it's a good judgment or whether it's a bad judgment. All right, cool. So
Ma'am, and
here is
also, I guess there is a lack of means. First, he should answer in that whoever the writer is, the person should write the answer by himself and then justify that and then give the suggestion. In justification itself, he'll write the analysis what he has done in the facts and what he has written in the body. So it will be nicer more, I guess.
okay, I hear you on this, Akanksha.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, what you're mentioning is correct. The answer is simple, that you just have to, you should get the answer. Like, it's not about the kind of language that you're using, or it's not even about how much of the fact or the issue or whatever you have discussed in the body you have mentioned, like how much have you picked out of from there. The point is that you should be able to deliver an answer to it. Whatever your topic be, you should be able to deliver an answer to it. Okay. Now I'm moving on to my second sample. Now this is a thing that we have already discussed previously. We have had a look at this one. It is with respect to the care economy, that why women drive the care economy. Now this is a different kind of a topic. Okay, it kind of analyzes a different kind of issues. So therefore, when I go down to the conclusion, it gives me a different conclusion. Okay, that it tells me addressing the challenges. Now, just quickly read this conclusion and tell me what are the problems here. What are the problems?
It's too analytical for a conclusion. I think some of it should be in the body.
Absolutely. So can we say that our conclusions are not analytical, because the analysis part is done in the body of the article? Here you just have to tell me that what have you concluded after your analysis. Can I say this? Who said this point? It's a very interesting
Yeah, this is Bhavpreet.
Bhavpreet. Thank you so much. I mean, I have definitely missed this point in my while I was writing my own pointers for today's class. Of course, this is a very good point, that you are not supposed to analyze the whatever the proposition is. You do not analyze it in the conclusion. You analyze it in the body, and then you tell me in the conclusion. You tell me what have you drawn after the analysis, right? Thank you, Bhavpreet.
Thank you.
Anybody
And
else?
ma'am, conclusion itself gives you a point to write more and more. It's not ending. It has many points in which you can work more and more, and you can write a whole story on this conclusion if the author wants.
All right. So how I understand is you're trying to say that A, it is very wordy. It is too wordy to be a conclusion.
Yeah.
Am I getting it correct? And secondly,
Yeah.
it is trying to introduce a lot of new concepts to me,
Yeah.
which do not work for a conclusion, right?
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Okay, that's exactly what it is. That's the right problem. Anybody else? What if the statistics is the part of the summary? Okay, someone says the statistics should be in the body or in the introduction. Okay, what if the statistics? Okay, so here again, there is no. I particularly do not believe in a generalization rule that your statistics need to be in your intro or a body. Statistics can be anywhere. Exactly what Chirayu is saying, that maybe statistics is my summary point. That is how I want to summarize by giving these stats. You can also summarize a particular finding, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to summarize the finding by giving a number. That is how I summarize this whole issue. ठीक है, तो वो डिपेंड कर सकता है from article to article and depending upon what is that you're looking at. Anybody else, if you can point out any other problematic areas here?
Ma'am, what is the topic?
Why women drive the care economy? That's the
Yeah, this bit is not answered in the conclusion.
It is actually answered, no?
Where, ma'am?
In this paragraph, does it answer? Does it not answer?
It is an answer, but it creates a lot of more topics to it.
That's right.
He has
That's
given
right.
the answer, but more, he has also given more suggestions and more topics which he can write
Right.
inside the
I
body.
think one of the major thing that misses out from here is that the title of the conclusion, like if I say that, okay, you know, this is the conclusion, says addressing the challenges. Okay. पहली बात मुझे नहीं पता चलता कौन कौन से challenges हैं categorically, except for the main topic that's there. उसके अलावा क्या challenges हैं? Because of this, like if women are driving the care economy, then I don't know what are the different challenges that it raises, right? They are somewhere in the article, but again, it does not come across very categorically, right? तो जब मेरे को challenges ही नहीं पता है, तो मैं addressing के solutions क्या दूंगी? Understanding. So it is like what Akanksha mentioned, I believe. It's very wordy. It's trying to give me a lot of new concepts. It is well written, but it doesn't give a reader very concise information. That, for example, let's say my thing could be that I say that, you know, women are driving care economy because of XYZ reason. Okay, I think one of you pointed that should have been categorically included in the conclusion. Definitely that should be there. Number one, a direct answer to the question. Okay, again we see that the topic is in a question format, so a direct answer to that needs to be there. Number one. Number two, if I'm talking about different addressing the challenges, I should again first state that, okay, you know, these are the challenges that the person is facing, and then I should talk about that, okay, this is how it can be addressed, right? And I should actually give ways. Now here it is just becoming analyzing with no solution to offer, right? So your conclusion should also state some solutions, if that is what the problem is. Like अगर problem ऐसा है तो उसका solution भी होना चाहिए, right? Don't leave your readers hanging in between. That, okay, even after reading so much, even I don't know what to do about this problem, right? I will quickly move on to the sample number 3. So this one is major differences between representation and warranties in a contract, effect of non-compliance. Okay. Now, someone is not on mute. Can you please be on mute? Now I come down to the conclusion. Now, please read the conclusion here. Any comments on the conclusion?
It doesn't categorically spell out the differences
Definitely. That's there. By reading the conclusion, I just get to know something about representative and warranties. Does it answer anything beyond that?
No.
No.
So again,
The,
someone saying something.
the second part of the title, I guess, it's missing. It just talk about representation and warranties, but the part effect of non-compliance, it's missing there, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Neither does it tell me about the difference between the two. Neither does it tell me what is the effect of non-compliance. So again, it falls apart. So now we have seen what are the common mistakes that people do while writing conclusions. They kind of just try and summarize the topic, but they miss out on hitting the nail, which is to answer the question. Answer, like we looked at 3 articles. Okay, now if you look at this, the whole of it, it looks like a decently written piece. It's not too bad. It's like decently, they've mentioned an introduction, they have mentioned what is a representation, what is a warranties, then types of contracts which require representations and warranties clause, importance and purpose kya hai, limited liability, explanations for consideration. It's detailed, talking about various things. But then again, like many have to not even written a conclusion. This person has at least attempted to write one, but the point is that it does not, just writing a conclusion is not enough. You got to write a right conclusion, right? Just putting a heading and just putting random information under it will not suffice, is what I'm saying. If you're writing a conclusion, you need to properly address what are the issues that were discussed in the entire body of the article. All right. So I think I'm done with my session. Now, if you have any questions with respect to whatever we discussed, we can take this up. And also, if you have any queries with respect to your writing assignments, we can take that up as well. Also, before, like many of you I know will start leaving, but if you guys have any kind of a feedback for the session today, did you find it valuable? Like, were there any learnings? You can drop your comments in the chat box, or you can probably WhatsApp me or in the group, whatever works. Also, guys, I had one question to all of you. How are you finding these sessions? Because these are probably, we used to do it earlier, but then we've fairly changed the structure of it. So like a very, like those who have been attending this for a long time would know what I'm asking about. So how are these sessions coming along? So Nava and
These are pretty good. They're giving a lot of emphasis to important skills like writing, and they're actually helping the person. They're actually guiding us a lot better, like rather than just attempting it all by ourselves.
All right. All right. And I also hope that you guys, just a moment, let me just complete one thing. And I also hope that all of you here will not just try and take it like a writing exercise to gain marks. You will also be aiming it at that, you know, this is how I will use it for maybe for my client, maybe for the internship that I'm trying, or you will, like, even if IPLeaders doesn't publish your article, you can always try and pitch it to some other entity, right? Rephrase it and, you know, kind of develop the habit of writing and putting your opinion out there.
Right.
That is one thing that you guys should focus. Okay, someone was saying something. Please. I'm so sorry.
No, not at all. Ma'am, what I was trying to say, I've attended quite a number of these sessions. Initially, they were doubt clearing sessions, and it was good because a lot of us had many doubts. But now that our doubts got clear to a great extent, this structured way of doing is good. And also, you have introduced 1 or 2 doubt clearing sessions, and I think that should go on maybe 1 or 2 a week maximum. But if you give it in a structured way and the way you have analyzed with the examples, it is really, really helpful. And I'm able to see for myself, I'm writing right now 4th assignment. I have done so far 3. I didn't have the benefit for the first 3, to be honest, and of these sessions. But separately, I have a query or an observation or a doubt, ma'am. you see, if I follow what you are saying, well, all of it is making sense.
Right.
Somewhere in my mind, a nagging thing is, then maybe the whole thing will look like a question answer, FQAs, or not so frequently questioned answers for the topic. So how do we or I lubricate the whole thing so it looks not like a FQA or NFQA, but as a topic with the flow?
I absolutely understand your concern here. So that you do by building a narrative around the issues. Okay. देखो, answer तो 3-4 चीजों का ही देना है. Like whatever your main issues are, you just have to answer that. Besides that, when you will be binding the whole of the information together, you don't really put it in a question answer format. Otherwise, that would be an FAQs. Then instead of writing articles, we can just say that, okay, FAQs on representation and warranties. And then I can just put a question and an answer and a question and an answer. Now, how that is different from an article? In an article, what I do is, I will be answering those questions, of course. Because if I do not, why answering of questions is important? Because unless I'm very crisp and clear in what I'm delivering, it can get very confusing for the readers. But in an article, I kind of build the whole thing in a very narrative form. In a form that it kind of tells you a story around those question and answer. Right? That's your writing style.
Okay.
Question and answer is from the perspective that that a particular thing that you should get an answer to something, right?
Yes.
हमें यूं ही बातें थोड़ी करनी है representation and warranties के ऊपर. There is a particular question that I'm looking for. What is the question that I want to know? What is the difference? So please tell me the difference. Right? Just don't keep beating around the bush. You need to give me a very clear answer to this. This is what here the topic is, right? It's just your writing style, that how will you bind everything together, and that's what make it an article. We can probably discuss this also more in detail with respect to writing styles, because here your writing style needs to be very professional and crisp.
Yes, ma'am. That's what if you can conduct because what
practical होगा, because in that I would want each of you to write. And that is also very personalized way, because everybody cannot have like a same tone. But we will work upon it. Let's in coming sessions, I've taken a note of this. Maybe in the future class, I will try and conduct one.
Great, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else has anything else to say? I was also mentioning
your own article topic on this the gender in the care industry, the differences between both the genders in the pay scale they get and the kind of treatment they get. Now, like you had shared those statistics that more women are either staying away from work as compared to men because of bad treatment at the workplace, or for not getting the appropriate kind of work environment and the right treatment. So, like in your conclusion, in just say about 2 or 3 words, say like for example, it's our assignment to write that same topic which you have written. So, like, suppose we've got the statistics right, we've got everything right. Now we are just ending up the last 3 lines of the conclusion. So, if you could just tell us how we can draft those final 2 or 3 lines, taking into account all the discrepancies in the care industry and the problems faced by both the genders, and why women are suffering more than men in that gender, and what can be done, and is there any particular provision under the law or the act which can specifically help in changing that situation? Say we need to just draft it towards the last 3 or 4 lines of the conclusion, then what is the basic idea we should have to write those lines perfectly well, so that people, they gain satisfaction from reading it?
You want me to draft it right now? Is that what you're saying?
If you can, that it would be great. It's like as though we ourselves are writing the same article and we are stuck at this position. Then how can we do it? It's just like for everyone. I'm like asking on behalf of everyone. That's all.
Okay. So what I would like to suggest here is that I will give you a trial here, like how I would do an ending. But what I would want you to focus on is the pointers that we discuss. Okay. Try those pointers. Okay. तो अभी let's just try and do it. जो pointers हमने discuss किए हैं, let's just try and do it right now. Okay. Our first pointer was that it should address the question. जो question पूछा गया है. Now, what is the question here? The question here is why women drive the care economy. Now, women drive the care economy because anybody wants to give me the answer to this?
Maybe because women show that they can care, and men are just not able to show that.
Women have that motherly instinct in them that is important for this economy also.
Right. So that's basically a kind of a gender role that we attach to them. Not saying that.
And they also have the ability to do it, because if men are put in the same position, even if they care as much as the woman, they won't be able to, come out as brilliantly as women would come out in those particular areas of work.
So
Because it's more like a natural talent which the female gender possesses as compared to the male gender.
I think this is the bigger question that needs to be answered here. Then why women are driving? Why women are driving is, okay, we all are on the same page because we kind of believe that they have the natural ability to do that. But what needs to be answered here is that what is the absolutely Bhavanpreet, the traditional gender norms. But what we need to answer here is that what is the problem? ठीक है, करते हैं, समझ आ गया. But what is the problem if women are driving the care economy? Can I say this? Loss of job opportunity in other areas?
Yes.
Yes, true.
Right?
Because in technical professions, there's still this stigma that men will be better and women cannot do it that well. Because it's still there. It comes out many times in the newspapers and a lot of other women empowerment magazines also, because their women have actually written about their experiences.
Right. I can say that.
There's a stereotypical approach towards employment of both the genders in particular professions.
It is true. It is also a stereotypical approach that we are saying that women has the natural ability to do such things better. It is also a stereotype approach. We are not talking about equality.
At times, even the man can do a better job. So it's all the time we usually tend to say it that way.
Women have a natural ability, because when we are women now have been enrolled in military and the infantry also. They are fighting for feminist group, are fighting for equality of women, and we are saying that women have the natural ability and men don't have the natural ability. It's not a good answer.
Absolutely, I agree with you on this.
Right.
I think it's mostly culturally driven, and secondly, it's been there a notion from war times that women have been nursing.
Patriarchal society, so as to say, because we live in a patriarchal world.
Yeah. And plus the teaching kind of job, these are white collar jobs. It is like a precedent that it is well suited for women. It is a notion in the society.
And it's also a stereotype, because I said that it's most suited for women because feminist groups are fighting for infantry position in army and defense. So it's not the good answer.
Okay. All right. So the idea is, now when we had this quick exercise where we all of us discussed that what are the important questions that needs to be answered in the conclusion. Okay, we quickly drafted those questions. Okay, like why women drive? इसका answer हमने पता लगा लिया कि भाई बहुत सारे, that some people consider that because they're naturally good at it, because of which it has become a gendered norm, and because of which we kind of open those vacancies only for women, considering living in that typical stereotypical world where we think that women are better at it, women are better at nursing, women are better at teaching. So this entire thing is coming or stemming from our patriarchal society, from the stereotypical ideas that have been floated around for so long, right? So that is why currently the women are driving the care economy, right? So that is how many, like 2 lines? Whatever.
Also due to the fact of the history behind it, like during the World War, all the soldiers were men and the nurses taking care of them were women.
Right. But that again, like if I have to give a broader answer to this, that also happened because we live in a patriarchal society. Men decided to go on a war and women were made nurses because, why? Because men took the decision. patriarchal society, right?
Okay.
Scientific answer is that man.
The history also, like whatever, like even if we look back at the history, that has also been that way because of the society we are in, right? So to broadly answer it, like instead of going into specifically into the history aspect of it, we can say that because of the patriarchal society, right? Does it cover your point?
Yes, it does.
Right. Okay, so when I answered this, that why women drive, then I move on to the second point, that is why is the what is the problem? We know that, okay, you know why women are driving. Women are driving because they are believed to be naturally good at this, which is a gender typical stereotype. We've been coming across this from ages, right? So probably I write 2 lines around this. Okay, then my next question, which is important to address, this, okay, even if it is, why is it a problem? Answer is here only because they kind of lose on other opportunities. Also, these are considered to be low income jobs. Like a teaching job, of course, doesn't pay you as good as an IT job, right?
No, right now the teaching salaries are highest after judiciary and after doctors. Teachers are on the third pay scale, and if you are talking about professors in the universities, they are on the second position. Maybe
But I might be mistaken here. Like my facts might not be completely correct on this point. But is that the case pan India, or is it only with respect to few colleges and university? Because I really doubt that if it is pan India.
in
If
pan
I
India
talk about
university,
government,
professors
are you
are.
talking about government statistics on that? Because I really doubt that.
I
It
am
is
also talking about government statistics. The professors are the highest paid.
But it is only relevant in higher education. In
Exactly.
primary and secondary education, the salaries is very low. In private
Exactly.
primary and secondary schools, it's very less.
And
In
it is not. This and this
private,
data is not representative of the entire country.
And even in private higher educations, it is also very abysmal.
in government, the salaries are very much high. Even a JBD teacher who is only 12th pass is earning starting salary of 40,000 as a government teacher.
Which state are you from?
Yeah, I'm not sure which facts are you referring to. Not really sure.
I can show you the salary slips.
Okay. So I think there's no point going into a debate around it. But generally, how it is seen is that I will give you a simple now. If I have to answer this question, why is this a problem? Because first, it doesn't give me an equal laying. It doesn't give me an equal play field, does it? No, right? Because then I have reserved few kind of jobs only for women, right? I kind of believe that okay, nurses has to be women. Maximum teachers have to be like, times are changing. Okay, I agree that nowadays I find a lot more male teachers, but then when I was in school, only my sports teacher used to be a male. Rest everybody used to be like a female teacher, and maybe like a maths teacher used to be a male, that also in like a higher standards. Otherwise it's considered a boy female's job. And why is it again so? Because they kind of believe that it's easier. It again stems from the same thought process that it's easier for women, so that they have to manage the house also, they have to manage the job also, so that's kind of easier for them to do, right? A lot of societal concerns are also associated with it. So that is why if I have to give like a one word answer to it, it does not give me an equal playing field, right? Everyone agrees on this. Like if we keep aside the facts and everything, like the debate that we were having, if we just keep that aside,
Yeah.
right? So this
Yes.
answers my second question. Now this is what I will write now. After I have answered that why women drive, I will then talk about that because of this the woman does not always get an equal opportunities. Like typically, if you will see, I am again not saying that it is for everybody, but then typically if you will see, how it happens is that a male probably is working in an IT firm and a female probably is doing like a teaching job. Not saying that this is everywhere, but it's like one of the common examples. You will find the reverse scenario very, very less. That maybe a woman goes to an IT job and a man does like a small teaching job. Okay, so that it doesn't give the same opportunities for everyone, and that is where it becomes the problem. And the third thing is that I would want to know is that how can I bridge this gap? What can government do to bridge this gap? Currently, if you'll see, all your Anganwadi is now coming down bottom to the whole hierarchy. If you see all the Anganwadi jobs, okay, all your Asha workers are women. That's not, those posts are not even open for men. And if you see their pay scale, it's horribly less. The amount of work that these guys do as compared to the what they get paid is very, very less. So how can the gap be bridged? Like if I had to write this, so my simple solution would be that the government start advertising it for both the gender. Like it shouldn't be gender specific,
To
right?
create awareness for that.
Yeah, like here I probably included like, so this was where they've basically created for women, but it should be gender neutral. It shouldn't be just restricted to women. So that goes in my conclusion, like as my last point, that how if I had to bridge the gap, this is how I would bridge the gap. Right? So this is the last line that I will write. Okay. Does this help, guys? Like writing a conclusion? Does it help? Yeah, एक sentence लिख दूं जल्दी से.
No, it's okay, ma'am.
हाँ
It's
मैम
okay.
It answers, right? Like, so basically the 3 questions that I discussed and the answers thereof, what I just said, right? And that concludes for me.
done to bridge it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions anybody has? Maybe with respect to today's session, or I wanted to add this thing, because now we are taking doubt clearing sessions on specific days. I would not want you to wait for that day. Like if it's something that maybe you're working on it, there are 2 people assigned, Naba and I, for your specific courses. You can definitely reach out to us and tell us that, you know, we want like a specific session for our topic because this is where we are stuck. It could be conceptual wise. It could be that you're not able to write it properly. Whatever your concern may be around this, maybe you're not able to find a case law or whatever the thing is, we can schedule a call and get that resolved there and then. Even if you have any specific queries right now with respect to the assignments that you're doing, we can take it right now as well. Anybody has anything to add? I think we're pretty much done then.
It's good for today.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else doesn't have any question, right? So I can just
The last question, like what can be done to bridge the gap? Are you going to write a line for that, or you are just?
probably it could be like 2-3 suggestions that I would want to give. Like number 1 of them would be to make what I will say is, do not keep the job of Anganwadi workers or Asha workers limited to women.
Okay.
All kind of care economy jobs should be gender neutral. Also, my another suggestion could be also schools while hiring teachers can ensure that they are maintaining the gender ratio, because I don't think so they actually maintain a gender ratio in school. It's mostly females, right? Maintain the gender ratio. That's my suggestion. Also the schools. Okay, another thing that I could add probably is I can also make them in pointers. Okay. Similarly, hospitals can also ensure to hire male nurses, right? Then what else could be my another solution? Actually, initially hota kya tha, because of the patriarchy, they thought what the mindset of the government used to be, that they would think that, okay, probably just make it for women because it's an easier job and they will be able to do it easily. Right? But then that's the mindset that needs to be changed. Because otherwise, either you pay them the same amount of the money, or there needs to be some kind of an equal length field wherein it's not just about giving seats to the women in different companies as board of directors, but also ensuring that even in the care economy, where there are Anganwadi workers, ASHA workers, primary teachers, men are also hired in those same roles equally. All right. So I think that's pretty much what makes the conclusion like to
Thanks a
this
lot.
part. Okay.
Now it's like much more easier to understand like exactly how to go about a conclusion based on the body and
Why I first wrote the questions was to tell you guys कि include क्या क्या करना है, जो आपका writing style है और जो narrative है, that can be worked around.
right.
ठीक है. So and then we will again, I think we should have a session where we also look into that, because अभी ये समझ में आ गया कि क्या लिखना है, तो I think important ये भी है कि कैसे लिखना है. Right, because language and your narrative style also is very crucial. So we will get to that, but I think for now, are we settled on this?
Yes.
All right. Anybody else has any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. You can drop your feedback maybe on the group or personally to me on the on maybe here on the Zoom group chat or maybe WhatsApp, whatever works. All right. Your feedback really helps me to like develop my sessions in a better way. Okay. So if you want me to like
I'm
for
not
maybe.
able to write it.
Why is it? You can, I mean, it's okay if there is any point that you would want me to address. It's okay.
No. I'm not able to access the chat box, so I would give you a 10 out of 10 vocally on the mic. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I thought that it is so problematic that you don't want to say it in front of everyone.
No. Actually, there's something on top of on the mobile screen which is blocking me from using the chat box.
Okay.
That's why I'm having to use the microphone for it.
Okay. All right.
It's a great
No
session.
worries.
I'd give you full marks for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That really keeps me going. One thing, like if you guys ever feel that okay, maybe for the next session let's try this tool या कोई activity, like I am also working on it to develop new activities for you guys. But if anything comes to your mind, I am happy to implement it. Like anything, if you want कि अच्छा ये करके देखते हैं, so we will include it in our sessions, okay? Because I think अभी ये at least for the next coming 2-3 months we're going to have like a writing session every day. Either Naba is taking it or either I am taking it. So we are having it every day. So let's see how can we make it more fun and more interactive so that we actually gain something by the end of the day, right? Except for just writing articles. I mean, of course, whoever is attending the sessions, I'm going to keep a close watch so that I know that they're writing good, and we can actually pick up those write-ups and then work on each one of them. So that they get published, right? That's what our target together as a team is, I would say. To get it published, whatever we are writing, so that we learn better, we write better, and we're able to push our content on LinkedIn so that people actually notice what we have written. So if you have any kind of insights on that, let me know. I will try and incorporate that in my coming sessions. Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, team. Bye-bye. See you.